Today is February the 26th, 2024, and I am on St. Stephen's Episcopal campus. We're in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where I have been entrusted with the landscaping on the campus. I have the joy of making decisions about gardening and plantings and what to do in preparation to make our grounds more beautiful. It takes years to make a pretty garden. Growing up on a working farm in Tennessee helped instill my love for nature and the earth and plants. You need patience, and you need to enjoy the garden, whether there's blooms or there's sticks. There's no better place to hear God than in a garden. We just talked about February and the things that are sleeping in February. This is one of those sleepers. It is a weeping willow tree that was planted in honor of Father Wilmot Merchant's 20th anniversary here at St. Stephen's. If you look closely, you'll see the green just starting to come out on the willow. It looks like this gets morning sun and more direct sun than that side, so this has more green than the other side. This has only been planted probably a year and a half, and it has grown tremendously. So it must like the position that it's in, it must like the sun, and we had to tie it because of the winds here. We're about a mile from the ocean, and we have things like wind all the time and gusts of wind. So to give this trunk time to get substantial and support this tree, we've had to tie ropes to keep it steady. We have planted azaleas around the circle, and we did have an old tree here that finally was so decayed that we had to remove the tree, and we replaced it with this. So this is a young garden. This is about 2 years old. We have some lilies coming up here, and the azaleas, although they're encore and they bloom twice a year in the spring and the fall, it's still just a little early for that spring bloom to happen. This will be beautiful in about 6 weeks. It should have all of its leaves, and we should see some blooms on our encore azaleas. Here's a good example of what February gardens might look like in North Myrtle Beach. We have the bulbs that we planted last fall, the daffodils, another variety of daffodil. I think these are called snowdrops. So we've been waiting for them to wake up this spring. This is our asparagus fern that is usually green year-round unless we've had a really severe cold night, cold temperatures maybe, and we've had some 22-degree temperatures, so this did not stay green through the winter, but I'm going to cut this back in a few days, and the green will come forth again, and hopefully we will have all the asparagus ferns will be pretty and green for the summertime, and it will have red berries in the fall. Our holly tree is about 5 years old. When we bought this in a 5-gallon container, maybe it was 3 feet tall. And we've had a little trouble with disease with this, so I give it a systemic treatment to keep down the disease. But it looks like we've had a really good year for berries. This is a knockout rose that I just cut the other day. You prune these severely in February, and hopefully we'll get a good bloom come summertime. Tractor seed plants that everybody seems to be crazy about, they don't get a lot of sun, so they don't get as big as they should. Although they're a shade plant, these are coming along okay. Asparagus fern is okay here. These will be yellow lantana, and I've left the dead on these to protect it from the cold weather and prevent the new growth from getting chilled. So in the next few days, I'll be cutting this away. We're far enough south in South Carolina to enjoy the beauty of the camellias during the winter time. This is a variety that stays pretty, begins to bloom in December and January and February. These are buds that haven't opened yet, and there is a reason that they don't open, but I can't think of what that is. This one shows a pretty one, but all of these should open, and maybe they will when the temperatures get a little warmer, but when it gets hot, we have no more blooms. We wait, it's a winter bloomer, and we're glad that it's on our campus. Here's a good example of a hellebore or hellebore. We call it a Lenten rose, and during Lent season, this it blooms. There's pinks and greens and whites, but I just planted this one last year, and it looks like it's going to be fine, and it will get big, and it will multiply. There are lots of varieties of camellias that bloom in the winter. This one, I think, looks like a carnation bloom. It is so pretty. This might be my favorite variety. And beside it is a white one that's a different variety with a different bloom. Where else can you find that in the wintertime? Here are lots of buds that we hope will open. It's just still. These need to be, or don't forget to fertilize these. If you want them to produce pretty blooms, they need to be fertilized as soon as all the blooms have dropped. And when the blooms drop, as you see on the ground, we're supposed to pick those up so we don't get a fungus from the blooms. This is one of the most recent gardens that we've worked on here. We call it our shade garden because it gets no direct sunlight, maybe just a little bit at noon, but this is not awake yet. We have hosta, everything shade in here, and as you can see, it's still sleeping. These shrubs are our beautyberry bush. They are a shrub. We keep them pruned, and in the fall or late summer, they have beautiful purple berries on them. These are native to South Carolina, so we encourage everybody to plant things that are native to this area. It's better for the birds, it's better for nature, it's better for everything. We call this Veronica Brown's garden. She works so hard out here to see that we have something blooming in the spring and the summer. She's just planted these rose bushes. There's 3 here and 3 more there, and she just can't wait, and I can't wait to see her long stem roses. Bulbs are coming up. There's tulip bulbs. We have Easter lilies that we've planted from previous years when they were given to the church and donated in honor or memory. What is not taken, we plant out here. So we look forward to a lot of pretty things blooming in Veronica's garden. We've moved to a garden an area near the pet cemetery and the columbarium. We have iris that will bloom later, about May. They look like they're coming up nicely. These are Easter lilies that will come up, and they'll bloom about July. More daffodils, camellias. We've pruned this a year or 2 ago, so it's producing blooms, and we're keeping it low. Here's hyacinth. These are also bulbs from past Easters when we had them in the church, and we plant them out here. We try to take advantage of every bulb that someone gives us or that we can buy. We're standing in St. Stephen's Pet Cemetery. These are the memorial plaques when your pet dies here. And since this gets severe hot sun, we can't do a whole lot back here with blooming stuff. But it looks like our berries are doing nice, our hollies are doing okay, and these are Easter lilies that will come up. But it is really intense 5 hours of sun in the summertime. This is one of the prettiest areas on our campus, and probably has been here longer than any other area in our garden. This was donated and dedicated in memory of Carol Doyle by her husband. And so many people use this area. They come and sit and meditate. They walk their dogs through here. Our fountain isn't running yet because of the cold temperatures, but when we start the fountain, there's a beautiful water sound. And this area is just really enjoyed by a lot of people. This is called Confederate jasmine or star jasmine. We planted these as little gallon shrubs about 3 years ago, and they have climbed up, and we hope to cover the entire top of this trellis with star jasmine or Confederate jasmine. It will bloom in April, and it smells wonderful. These are winter camellias that have been here as long as I've been here. The church is about 55 years old. These were this tall, and we decided last fall to prune them down low so you have a better view of the columbarium. We're leaving them about this height so they can make a low shrub, and they will bloom. You can prune them drastically and you'll still have blooms. You have to give it time to go through the shock, but it will be back. There are 6 of them, and it is a beautiful sight when they're all blooming in the winter. Probably has more annuals planted along with perennials. We try to keep this with some bloom and some color year round. These are winter pansies now. We need a vase for our flag. The first Sunday of every month, the flag is raised in honor of a veteran. So we want this to be a pretty area, and I think we have succeeded. We're still looking for the beauty in the February garden. The rose bushes are still asleep. These are knockout roses, and I'll prune those in another couple days. These are called golden mock cypress, and I guess if we're looking for beauty, here it is. Our fountain adds interest to this area, and it makes it welcoming to be found when you enter the parish hall. And behind me is a lot of Confederate jasmine. This entire thing will be covered with white fragrant blooms in April and May. In this area, you get to enjoy a bigger picture of the daffodils and how pretty they are. Do your fall work and you get your spring benefits. In about a month, in March, we'll pull back the mulch and sow zinnia seed that we have saved last year. We dried our blooms and we saved the seed. And this will be covered with zinnias all summer. They'll be naturalized, and there's all colors and all heights. So we look forward to that.